I'm coming up with all kinds of reasons not to renew the 181 this time, once and for all. It really hasn't made sense for a long time, but I just always liked having it. From the old days, it gave me a slight veil of anonymity and having a mailing address that couldn't be traced to my physical address, but the latter is so easy to come by these days that it's not like I think I'm fooling anybody with that. Another reason that on a rain day like this isn't even that bad, but on a rain day, in the past I'd be able to get all the way to the 181 without having to come out and up into the weather, because the subway would get me to the concourse. You might remember, I think it was 2.5 weeks ago now, I sent myself a letter from one of those Grand Central Terminal courtesy collection boxes, just to see if they really work. Today's the moment of truth. Although I'll give you a spoiler alert, I already know it did get delivered, because I get the, what's it called anyway? The USPS sends you a picture of every piece of mail that you get. Informed delivery, I think it's called. And this letter looks like it got delivered the next day, or maybe 2 days later. Oodles of mail. That's probably my new radio cards. Or it could be something else. But here's the letter I mailed myself from one of those Grand Central Terminal courtesy boxes. I thought they might do something clever with the postmark, but they didn't really. The magic of the mail. It's just a couple of receipts. There's nothing important in here. I just wanted to see if those courtesy boxes really worked. It always amazes me they do so much of this by hand still, in these modern times. So let's see, I guess they moved all the boxes. There's I think over 1,000. I mean, I think there's more like 5,000 actually. Looks like they might have even added some new ones. Yeah, these go up to 5,500, I think. They did size down the much of this place, but they kept, looks like, all the boxes. And look at how expensive it's gotten. $202 for a year for my size box. Can I really even justify this anymore? And then maybe, watch this, so next week I'll get a job in Midtown, where I might actually use this thing again. I guess this is where I just was. This is only the second time I've been here since they've moved. And last time I went to that window. And this is another reason not to stay here. There's never been weekend hours. I hate that. But this was just a little bit of an adventure. She handed me this box and tried to slip it under the opening in the plexiglass separator thing, and she knocked it over and almost hit me in the head. That looks like a box full of a new batch of Payphone Radio cards. Why did I get this delivered here? I don't know. Would have made much more sense to get it sent to my home address. I guess I'll hold on to that. And here's this relentless alumni newsletter from my freaking grade school. Like, I really need to keep up with people I knew in the 3rd grade. I swear I thought that said Wienery. I guess you could call a hot dog stand a Wienery, couldn't you? Get thee to a Wienery. Looks like they're almost done converting this into a skating rink. Roller skating rink, that is. They haven't made it a roller skating rink since the 40s. I've never ice skated here. I never had any desire to, but I consider roller skating down here. Huh? Do you want some post office? No. Oh, no, it's okay. Thank you. Just want to see what they did to the old post office, if anything yet. It's a pretty big space. It'll be interesting to see what happens to it. I was afraid of this. They blackened it out. Last time I was here, you could see some activity behind this door, but that's where my 181 was for over 30 years. Let's see what they did. Yep. Last week you could see into the old post office, but not this time. New space is a lot smaller.
Really?
Yeah. It's up on 51st Street. I think more of this is open than was open the last time I was here. More of this area. There used to be a bunch of tables and chairs. I guess there will be again. And during the holidays, they would move all the tables and chairs over into this area. This is where there used to be, there was a row of phone booths here for a long time. And they stayed around longer than you might have expected. I think until like 2008 or maybe 2010 even. But these are the booths that were at the back door to the Today Show. That's the first big TV show I was ever on, I think. It was around the same time I was on ABC Nightly News, I think. I never saw that one. My father did, though. He was really happy about it. It's a whole lot of activity here. Last times I've been here, it's been pretty quiet.
We gotta talk about email this.
Looks like there's a big high school tour group. When in Rockefeller Center, we always check the payphone. Maybe that's reason to keep the 181, so that I have more than one reason to come over here and get my mail and see if the payphone is still breathing. One reason I was inspired to keep the box this time around is when I got what I guess you'd call a fan letter from somebody in Taiwan. And it was really nice. It was an interesting, thoughtful letter, but they didn't identify themselves at all. No return address. I don't know how old this person was or what their gender or anything. But it was a nice little thing. Oh, and you know what else? I sent that letter for another reason. Wow, it's really hopping down here. It's been completely dead. Almost every other time I've been down here. Feels like the old days. I don't know what goes on in here, but I think it looks pretty cool. They set this up peak quarantine. I think it was like, well, maybe not peak. It was like maybe May of 2020. Looks cool. Seemed like a lot of people were looking for that post office. But like a letter like that from a random viewer, a random website fan or whatever, I'd really much rather that go to something like a P.O. box and not my personal address. I don't know why though. Something about the image. Looks more official. Get somebody loose here. Hotel room key. And I keep meaning to look up what that L, letter L means. It's not exactly everywhere, but I've seen it in a bunch of places. Sounds great. Let's see, do I have any coins today? I don't know if I do. Oh, look at that. I have 50 cents for a phone call. And you know what I'm going to call? Wait a second, let me put this back. I don't think I've had any downtime in a couple of months. Anything for a listener, right? Set up the radio and put that little card to advertise it and hope somebody comes along and listens in, right? Yeah, I know. I'm 54 fucking years old, right? I don't think I see a single mask here. Oh, there's one, but she's not wearing it. I don't mean anything by that. I'm not wearing one either. A friend and I have had the same foreboding that a huge outbreak is coming. Another huge outbreak. It seems almost unavoidable, but I don't know. Well, for better or worse, this is the first time Rockefeller Center has felt like Rockefeller Center since Christmas of 2019. I say for better or worse because, like, it could all change very quickly. Oh, they got rid of this restaurant? Wow. This space used to, pretty sure this was where it was, the restaurant where my mother and I got 2 brownies and 2 coffees when we came up here for me to audition for Juilliard. That was in 1980 or 1990. And it was the punchline for the whole trip because 2 brownies and 2 coffees cost $20. And this was 1989 or 90, you know? $20 for that. That was insane. But in the end, it ended up just being part of the fun of the trip. Just blowing inordinate amounts of money on things that would cost a couple of bucks back home.
That's the whole thing. I got my son up here next week, and then I think up here we're still
So this area, this section, I don't think changed at all as part of the bigger renovation.
You guys live in the same bedroom?
Yeah.
I think Bill's Burger Bar is still here. It's a good place. Yep, there it is. That's a good place. If you're ever in Midtown, it's really good stuff and it's pretty good prices. And this is the lower level, but they have an upstairs too. Let's see if the escalator works. I don't think it did last time. Wait a minute. Nope. God, you can't even get to the stairs. possible intended use for something of that shape. I see it and think, ouch. That too. Oh. Prickly. Prickly. I'm so funny. Let's go look at the ass of Atlas. The sound of bells, church bells. It's the only musical instrument in use today that sounds fundamentally the same as it did centuries and centuries ago. So you're hearing it the way Christ heard it. See rats at this station, at this end in particular. It's going to be a very ratty summer, I think, because they were out in force as winter was starting to approach last year. I mean, they were just like stepping up onto tables at restaurants. And look for rats. I think I was trying to say before that as I guess it was over the summer with all the outdoor dining shacks and all that food being left out in the open, that the rats just like swept in. And there were articles in all the papers about rats just climbing right up onto your dinner table. And I think that's going to start happening in force again as the weather warms up. I was even seeing rats in my neighborhood. I probably have seen them before, but I don't remember it. Just big fat ones barreling right across the street. And I saw somebody reported a batch of rats over on 30th Street. It's going to be a ratty summer. I'm not seeing any right now, though. There, that's what you want to see. I leave these at the Lexington Avenue station, and they'll stay there for like a week, which really surprises me because that's a pretty high traffic spot. Yeah, they just repeated that. They took a whole train out of service because of a vandalized car. That must have been some pretty serious vandalism. Maybe they don't mean just spray paint or magic markers. I don't know. There's some green gloves. And the flowing water is actually kind of nice in a filthy way. So here's what the new cards look like. I got 4 boxes of these. Well, they include these things in it. And I've been using Vistaprint, but I think I'm going to have to switch. Anyway, the new cards look the same as the old ones, but I was going to try to redesign again, but I just didn't think I had time to do it. I like the way I took the numbers off of a picture I took of a Payphone touchtone keypad. And by the way, if you're wondering what that horrible sound is, this is one of these free chat lines that I call into sometimes. And I'll start a conversation with somebody, but then it always gets overrun by these people who just come in there just to sing songs and do nothing all day. And they're still free, which is kind of incredible. Although sometimes you'll get an advertisement for it. But
Mama, let my baby pick you up. Oh, shit. Well, you ever had that happen before?
that woman there actually sounds pretty nice. But I made you crossed paths with a lot of shiesty people on that thing. Anyway, this is what the new batch looks like, and I'm going to send out a bunch of these to some friends in the coming couple hours. By the way, the new quarter kind of threw me off. I thought I'd gotten a fake or something. I didn't know they were issuing new quarters. And that's... Who is this again? Yeah, right, Maya Angelou on the back. I thought you had to be dead for a long time to be on a coin or a paper money. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I hate pigeons, but still, I hate to see something like this. I know people are just like driving over it as they exit this parking lot. I barely missed it. Anyway, let's hope that's the only dead thing around here. Payphone should be alive. Indeed, we got dial tone. These two cards have been stuck here for like 3 weeks, I think. Maybe 2.5, I don't know. Well affixed. And that one is still there. I guess somebody took this other one though. That Hennessy shot bottle's been there for a while. There's a little bit of booze left. I applied for a spot on Radio Free Brooklyn to see if they'd want to carry some of the audio from the payphone thing or from one of my other stations, but I applied kind of half-heartedly because I know they're just going to ignore it. I'm not. They say they're looking for the voice of New York, but like they're looking for the authentic voice of New York. But I think when they hear my stuff, they're going to be like, we didn't mean to be that authentic. They're really looking for polished professional sounds, not the real thing, not the real people. I guess this dude never got his advertiser. It's been a while now. I wonder who Shah is. This is a beautiful strip mall, isn't it? I always wondered how that Manhattan beer distributor got away with using the Woody Allen logo. Those two dudes were checking out the little free library, which I have not been doing lately. There's just never enough time. These all look pretty old. Diary of an 8-Bit Warrior. Diary of a Yuppie. Stuff my cards into a couple of these. Now that I have 1,000 to go through, people will use them as bookmarks, right? Barely Functional Adult. A biography of Mark Thomas. Still adulting into his 50s. It's hard to do with one hand. How many times do I say that?